Hello, welcome to Biblio Bistro.
We're here at the Portage Lake District Library, and we're excited to show you how to whip up some fresh, seasonal, simple, and delicious food.
I'm Michael, and I'm the program coordinator at PLDL.
And I'm Megan. I'm a registered dietitian and community health educator with the Portage Health Foundation. We are making chicken wraps. We're actually going to use ground turkey today.
Okay.
With lettuce as the wrap.
Oh.
How delicious does that sound?
It sounds really yummy, and I bet we're billing this as a quick dinner, like
super quick.
10 minutes, eh?
Yep. Yeah. And in terms of what you would find at the farmer's market, it's going to be lettuce. So, if you want to do it more like a salad, you could. For making it like a wrap, we used butter lettuce as one option, and you'll see like a romaine lettuce leaf. Those are both by Boersma's this go round.
Nice.
Thank you for your lovely leaf lettuce. And then you can find either green onions or, in this case, leeks are actually in season, so we used leeks in place of green onions. And then, believe it or not, there's actually one farm that's doing fresh ginger right now. It's up in Copper Harbor. I think they're called Lake Effect Farm. They just a couple weeks ago said they did ginger. So
that's
you
so cool.
potentially could even get ginger at the farmer's market if you land it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, where do you want me to start? 10 minutes. Who's got the timer going?
So I would say you probably want to put some oil in the pan, and then we're going to want to quick chop those leeks.
Okay. And the garlic?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Couple tablespoons of oil?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So now, do you want me to use all of the green onion, Megan?
So it calls for 3, so you certainly could use it all if you'd like.
Now these are leeks, so the tops are going to be a little tougher than the green onion, so I'm not going to go all the way up.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to do like that much.
Would you say the flavor is pretty comparable, just the texture for the greener, the dark green?
Yeah, I mean, you're still getting that. Ooh, great, we have a little sizzle going on.
Ooh.
And the garlic goes in, same thing, just a nice little chop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I bet we could use a garlic press for this one too, huh?
Mm-hmm. Totally, yeah. If you have a garlic press at home, that would work. A microplane would also work. You could grate it that way.
Yeah. I'll just do a quick little chop here. I wish we had set a timer. I'm ready now. I've set myself the 10-minute challenge. Can we do it, Megan?
And I brought ginger. It doesn't actually say ginger on the recipe, so you don't have to. You could certainly throw it in. I don't know, Michael, are you feeling gingery?
Oh yeah, I love it.
I love ginger.
I love it. Oh, and I can show off that fun little trick. Do you remember the one about the peeling ginger?
I remember you mentioning it on a different episode, but I don't remember how.
So, if you take a spoon and you just skim over the top. So one of the cool things, ginger can be kind of a pain to peel. People use all sorts of devices to try to get the job done. The back of a spoon is totally the way to go.
Yeah, that was super fast.
I can't see anything, but I smell good, don't I?
You smell wonderful.
How much ginger do you want, and how do you want it done?
I would say maybe mince it, or dice it.
Yeah. Should we go for a lot of ginger?
Yeah.
Good.
I love a good healthy dose of ginger.
Tell us about the healthy dose of ginger.
Yeah, well, ginger is actually an interesting, I don't know if it technically classifies as an herb. That's what I'm going to kind of classify it under. But it's actually been shown in studies to help with nausea. As effective, actually, even with some younger kids with stomach bugs as some of the over-the-counter medicines. Obviously, it depends on what kind of case, and medicine has a good place. But it can actually be quite effective at kind of curbing some of that nausea or even vomiting episodes. It actually reduced it a little bit. It wasn't as severe.
Whenever I'm feeling a little under the weather, I like nothing more than like some ginger tea.
Mm-hmm.
If I have fresh ginger, I'll go there, but I'm not above a tea bag.
Yeah, and I will say ginger ale is not a super great source of actual ginger. So, I think a lot of people think of that as a remedy for stomach bugs and things like that. It doesn't really contain much ginger. You'd be better off probably doing something with true ginger in it, like a tea.
Sure. Okay,
right.
10 minutes, here we go.
All right, so if you want, basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the chicken.
Yep.
And I'm gonna mix, we have liquid aminos. So this is a gluten-free version, right? It's similar to soy, a little bit different. But it is gluten-free. So soy sauce often will have wheat added to it. So for people who are wheat sensitive or celiac or have an allergy, you'd want to be aware of that. This would be a good alternative. They do also make a gluten-free version of soy sauce called tamari. That would be another good option. And then in here we also have dark brown sugar. Michael, if you didn't have brown sugar, would you be able to substitute something else for that?
Oh, I actually think if we had thought of it, I would have said maple syrup.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're pretty. Now, the only thing that's different, like, don't get crazy with baking or anything and try to substitute them because it's a dry ingredient versus a wet ingredient. But for what we're doing, yeah, I think it would have worked out great.
Okay. That's good to know. You can also add sriracha or chili flakes if you want to make it spicy. That's optional depending on your flavor preference. And then I'm just going to mix that together so that the sugar can dissolve.
All right. I'm going to cover that. Now, I am going to be careful with this spoon because, do you mind grabbing me a paper towel?
Yes, I would love to.
Raw meat, vegetables, not together. So I just dumped that meat in there, but if you had to like handle it, or if you were using it in a different way, maybe a different cutting board for the meat, different one for the veggies, so that you're not cross-contaminating your food. But yeah. And is that going to join this?
It will a little bit later on.
Okay.
So once the chicken, or in our case today it's ground turkey, is a little bit more cooked. I think it's, so it says for about 5 to 7 minutes. So once the chicken is fully cooked, so to make sure that it's completely safe, you want to do about temps at 165 or higher. That is when you know that all of the concerns we have with food safety would be out of the way.
And the other thing with meat is when it's cooked, it'll break apart.
Yes.
So where this is just kind of a blob doing its thing right now,
right.
Once it gets cooked, it'll just start breaking apart on its own. So that's another eyeball test, I guess you could say.
Yeah. You know, and in terms of substitutes, you know, you could do something like tofu. It's got a little bit more water, so it might be a little bit different to fry up. You might want to pad out some of the water and try it that way. I did actually make a vegan version for one of our crew members who is vegan, so we did the same soy sauce mixture, and we did edamame, which is a whole soybean. So they can have it that way, cooked it up the same way. You could also swap out for ground beef or ground pork if you wanted to do something different than poultry. Probably wouldn't do fish.
No. No?
But what's really nice about this, if you're really wanting a home-cooked meal, but you don't want to take a lot of time, really you're chopping up whatever onion base you want. Doesn't have to be green onions, doesn't have to be leeks. It could be a regular onion.
Sure.
You could skip the onion. You know, you could just do garlic. We added ginger as well. You throw in the meat and you let that cook for, you know, a little under 10 minutes, and then you wrap it.
And you're good to go, yeah.
Yeah. Look at that.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get there. I need to cook off a little of the liquid, I think.
What I really like about this is, you know, I think there's a lot of things that we can whip up in 10 minutes, right? Think of mac and cheese or grilled cheese.
Yeah.
What's really nice about this is that it's really fresh flavors. You're also getting a lot of protein.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel a lot more full with something like this dish than a box of mac, even though it's going to take you relatively the same amount of time.
And this seems like it'd be a pretty good dish as a leftover too.
Yeah.
Like take a little bit for lunch the next day if you don't eat it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good deal.
Well, we'll just let that sit and cook for a little bit, and we'll check on it in a minute or two.
Sounds good. All right, Megan, we should be about there, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
what do you
let's
say?
take a peek.
Oh, yeah.
That looks
okay.
awesome.
So that's another thing I was telling you about the meat. See how firm that meat is now and how it's sort of pulled up on itself? Yeah. I feel really confident about that. Would you like to temp it, or are you good?
You know, I think that's a pretty solid sign. If you're ever concerned, you know, obviously if you see any sort of signs of pink, you need to let it cook a little bit longer. Yeah. If you want to be extra safe, you can temp it and make sure, but it's at 165 or higher as well.
And we're going to cook it a little bit longer with the goodness.
We are. So we are going to add that, in our case, amino and brown sugar mixture. Throw that in, and again, you could add something like sriracha or red chili flakes if you wanted to spice it up.
Yeah. Right. Now, are you wanting me to cook this a little bit longer, or are we ready to get to that meal?
I think we can get ready to eat.
Looks great. Looks really yummy.
So the two different lettuces that we have, this is more of a romaine, and then this is the butter type lettuce. So this is a little bit more delicate, I would say.
Yep.
The romaine is obviously bigger as well and a little more sturdy.
You know
Which one would you like?
Oh, I'll take the big one, please.
Okay.
Surprise, surprise. You know what I was just thinking too that would be really yummy with this? If you could by chance get your hands on some endive.
Oh.
Because endive is really firm and is already kind of like canoe shaped. I've used it for other things, and I think that could be really yummy too.
So for those of you that aren't familiar, endive is like more of a bitter.
Yeah, it definitely is a little more bitter.
Well, it's actually, it's normally purpley kind of leaves on the outer.
Yeah,
right?
There's different kinds. It can be, yeah. But I was just thinking of like the shape and the rigidity.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like that. What is that Korean dish? Bulgogi?
Bulgogi, yes. Yeah. That's got ground meat. I think it's like over rice and a bunch of stir-fried veggies and a fried egg on top.
Oh, yum. Now I want all of that too.
I know, me too.
Okay, come on in. Now this is going to be too hot for us to eat, right? What do you think? You want to start there?
Yeah.
Are you just going to try to wrap it up?
I'm gonna try.
You're going to commit fully?
I have been a professional burrito wrapper in my time.
Oh, nice.
So I'll see if I can show off my skills here.
I was actually pretty good at diapers, so I'm just going to try to make it like a little diaper thing here. Maybe that's not what you should throw in with the food idea.
It works. It's pretty hot, so I'm going to let it sit for a second.
Look, I'm trying to do like a little stuffed cabbage with mine.
There we go.
Let's see how it goes. Ooh. No, it's a wrap. I'm going to totally do it. I'm going in.
Okay.
Mmm.
Good?
Mmm. It's really good. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll go for it too.
You're committing. I like it.
I am. I'm committing.
At least you don't have a beard.
True.
That makes things trickier.
That's really delicious.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for tuning in to this episode.
If you'd like to watch other episodes, feel free to go to pldl.org/biblio-bistro, and you'll find all of our previous episodes, show notes, and recipe cards right there for you. Until next time,
Bon appetit!